as long as the deal is good, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
how much mom and pop? It's when we requested lease documents after putting on the contract. We asked Joe to get some lease documents or financials, and Joe went there. We expected a PDF and Excel sheets, but Joe ended up getting a box of documents. He had to personally sort out and scan manually, I think, a couple hundred pages.
Wow.
That mom and pop.
Yeah, no, we're familiar with that. And again, this is not my story, but just because you probably never heard it. Ours were like written notes. All right, guys, welcome to another amazing show. This time I'm so excited because I have my boy Yosef Lee. We're both Jake and Gino students, and he finally closed on his first deal, multifamily deal. So I'm very excited. I always wanted to have him on the show, and it's been overdue. I mean, I told him as soon as you close the deal, bro, I want you in my in our show. So a little bit about Joseph. He's a believer. He's a father, lawyer, multifamily apartment syndicator, and investor. He's a true people connector. He's hooked us up with several people all this time that we've been students at Jake and Gino. He's a status quo hater, strategic planner, Pilates studio owner. Man, you got to tell me about that stuff. And entrepreneur wannabe. Well, now he's an entrepreneur. He got into a big deal. So let's talk about it, man. Tell us more about yourself, bro.
Hey man, thank you very much for having me into your show. I'm honored and I'm very pumped up. It's 10 o'clock at night, but still, we're on fire, man. We're on fire.
Nice.
All right.
So tell us about yourself, bro. Where you come from, how you started. You're a lawyer. How did all that start, and then how the real estate venture? How did that start? How did you get into real estate?
Okay, so I'm an immigrant, right? I came to the U.S. when and it was like a month shy of 18 years old. So I became 18 years old when I just came to the U.S. I worked nonstop, just like other immigrants were doing, right? Just throughout the college. After the college, a few more years, I probably had like a 10 to 15 different jobs back then. And finally, I go to law school with a dream of being this cool, wealthy professional, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let me tell you a little bit of what I had to do back then. So picture this. So working full time, I was working full time back then, 9 to 6 as a paralegal in a law firm. I had to cut 1 hour each day to make commuting time to the school. And so I had to work on Saturday to make up that 5 hours from weekdays for free because I offer that. So 6 days a week for two years and a half, taking night classes. I went through law school.
Nice.
I'll done my classes around 10 p.m. I'll go to 24-hour coffee shop, study because I know if I go home, I'll fall asleep, right? And I studied till like 2, 3 in the morning. I go home and get some sleep on the couch, wake up, go to work around 8 p.m. 8 in the morning. And these are the days that I had for 2.5 years, just sleeping maybe 3 to 5 hours a day to catch up the amount of study in a law school and work full time. And after all these sleepless nights in 2013, I took New York, New Jersey bar. I passed and became a lawyer. And during law school, I became a father of 2 girls. And I thought finally this will open a door to become some sort of financial freedom, right?
Uh-huh.
Fast forward 2018, still hustling, working hard, hours and hours, sweaty, but was nowhere close to rich or in financial freedom. So, as a lawyer, I make some money. Maybe some people think it's a good money, but I would spend all in New York City through living expenses, paying the bills. But don't get me wrong. I love my job. I still love my job. So, but it was just that each year I work harder and harder, but it's just not going nowhere. And I got fed up with that reality. One day, right, I grabbed a book and I realized, oh, I'm trapped in a rat race, just like as a W-2 employee, regardless of how much money I make, right? I realized for the first time, in the beginning of year, 3 months or 4 months, essentially you're working for free for government because you're paying taxes of 35% or 40% of income. And I realized there are many ways to write off the taxes, but because I was a W-2, I couldn't do that. And this was like a tunnel without a light at the end. So, you know, in the fast forward, I concluded that I must become a business owner, some sort of, or investor eventually, so that I could build passive income stream with tax benefits.
So what was a book that you read that made you realize that you're in a rat race?
Well, it was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. Just like it's like everyone's classic, right?
Yeah.
Practically, I don't think it gives any practical steps to become a rich or anything, but it was just mind blowing, and it just turned upside down in my mind.
That's what I tell people, man, because people ask me sometimes, I recommend a book to people that have no idea, and they're like, what book do I read? And it's like, what do you know about real estate? It's like, nothing. Well, read this book. And I tell them, it's just a story that will make you dream about things that you can do, because it tells it in a simple way that you're like, oh, I can do this too. Now, when you get in the nits and grits of the business and how to execute the business, now you need to educate you more. But once you have that dream, and you believe that you can do it, you believe that you can be the guy in the book, you're like, oh man, I can do this too, I mean, education, you have to get that education too, and networking is a lot of grinding and a lot of work too, but it makes you dream big. So,
right.
So I'm with you.
Definitely. And that book was the game changer. Again, mindset shifting, right? So I started looking for my ideal investment vehicles. Okay, what should I do? I mean, still working full time, but studying again was not easy, but I knew I would find something if I kept pushing. 2019, I tried different things. Like I did some stocks, mutual funds, and REITs, and I finally landed on multifamily apartment investing. And just the benefits comes with it. It's just, it was just no brainer not to do it, especially controlling side of it, not the market controls it, right?
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this, man. Sorry to cut you off, but I have this impression, right? I don't have any friends that are lawyers. I'm in the military. You know it. A lot of the audience knows it. I'm in the Marine Corps, and all I know is Marine Corps, right? I've been doing it for 20 years, and I'm thinking lawyers, doctors, engineers. They have these paychecks. I mean, you have this salary that is high. I mean, that's what we think. And you guys have this network of people who are very successful. Financially, you guys get paid very well. And I'm thinking that everybody in the circle knows about this type of investments. Is that the case?
You know what? Not really. I think it's because I'm from New York, right? And in New York, when they think about real estate investing, they think about mostly flipping, keeping it a long term and just sell it so that you could get the money. So more of an appreciation market here, right? So this multifamily investing, and to us like individuals, is really not the game that we thought we would play. That was more of like an institutional money play here, luxury apartment markets, condo markets. So I have many lawyer friends, but they don't really get this type of concept.
So they're just grinding. They're on the right race. They got these blinders on, and they're like, hey, this is all there is for now. W-2 lawyer. This is my career. Let me focus on my career. And they haven't been taking those blinders off like you did when you read that book.
Right. And they think, when they think in investment, for them, it's more of stocks and REITs and, mutual funds. And again, and when it comes to real estate, it's more of a house or duplex flipping, things like that.
Nice.
So it's different from multifamily apartment investing strategy.
Okay. So you read the book 2019, you started trying to get into, I mean, how did you not get into, I call it the other rat race, where you get into flips and you get into small multifamily or residential homes. How did you not get into that rat race of the residential real estate?
Okay. So first of all, I was actually looking into duplex and triplex small. And I was listening to the podcast. All these gurus like, Grant Cardone, Michael Blanks, and they said, go bigger because of this benefit. I mean, essentially what I wanted was a system, right? I'm not a person who enjoys hands-on fixing or being a handyman, dealing with the tenants.
Yeah.
So to me, if I have to do that, it's not like it's not an investor. It's another active income that I have to spend my time. But what I wanted was passive income, right? So I have to think it this way. I unless I own a business system, this is going to be another job that I'm creating. And the ultimate goal that I wanted was freedom of time is not going to be achieved.
Yeah, because now you have the job, which pays well, right? And you thought you were going to be rich, by getting into law, and you're trying to take care of your family, but that doesn't mean that you want to work, 12, 14 hours a day and not spend that time with your family. So that's basically what you saw in multifamily, right?
That's true. Okay. All the benefits I saw from multifamily investing make sense than single or duplex.
Okay, so what happened in 2019?
Well, so 2019, again, after looking into all these different vehicles, I landed on multifamily investing. So I did about a year of self-studying, going to biggerpockets.com, reading postings and, listening to the podcasts. And I was doing it for about a year, and I thought I was taking an action, but I realized it was not really taking an action. It was more of passively just absorbing all the information, and I found myself going nowhere. So I decided to take further action by surrounding myself with like-minded investors and highly motivated people. So I started looking for mentorship groups and mastermind groups.
Okay, and did you join anybody else? Because I already brought it up that you and I are Jake and Gino students. But did you join or did you do anything else before you found Jake and Gino?
No, I didn't actually. I wasn't actually part of any other groups. So it was just I was vetting. I was looking into other programs, Michael Blanks, Joe Fellis, and all that. But Jake and Gino group resonated the most with me. It started from humble guy, pizza restaurant owner, and drug sales rep, and became. They built an empire, and that resonated with me. They were from New York too, so I like them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you joined Jake and Gino, and what happened, man? Tell me the whole experience. Tell me the whole. There's some emotional roller coaster. I wanna tell the audience, because you get to know people like yourself and other people. We got Hendra, we got Nico Salgado, and hopefully I have Nico in the podcast eventually. And you got other people that you and I know in having common relationships, and we try to help each other, right? But
yes,
but we also running against each other to be able to close on a deal. And sometimes we hit these walls, right? Where, especially right now with the market, COVID and all that stuff, we hit these walls, and it's an emotional roller coaster, because it's like, my God, is it ever going to happen to me? So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So after joining, I joined around February, I think March of last year. And it was not easy, because I had to convince my wife, this is a good group, right?
Yeah.
I think she had a little bit of, between you and me, it's not going to be between you and me now, but it was like, what do? You go to seminar? What is mastermind? You sure this guy's a little legit? Right?
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Women tend to be more, they ask more questions, and they tend to question everything and analyze it. Even for analytical guys, women tend to go the extra step and be more cautious about it. So I understand what you're saying.
Right.
So what happened, man? So you talked to her, you convinced her.
It eventually became supportive, and we spoke to Josh and Gino, and I decided to join. And right after I joined, the pandemic happened, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was like, come on, I was supposed to go to all these like boot camps and meet these guys, but all of a sudden it got shut down. So, and that was like the feeling that I was like helpless, right? Mm-hmm. Why now when I just joined? So I had to do something. I knew this community has a lot of good people. So I started networking through Zoom, like maybe meeting like 2-3 people a day, every day. And thankfully, since the COVID hit, Zoom or Facebook, this virtual meetings got, I guess, all the attentions. Now everyone is taking more seriously. Before I was not comfortable with talking to new people through videos, right? Mm-hmm. But after that, we had no choice. We were kind of forced to do that. And it kind of worked for me. In the end, because the pandemic, I was able to meet a lot more people because I'm not limited into a specific area now. I can meet people from California. I can meet people from Virginia, other states, nationwide. Yeah. So nice. It was very nice. It was great experience.
Nice. Yeah, especially it's good for the introverts, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm not an introvert anymore, but I used to be. And I had to force myself. The Marine Corps kind of forces us to step out of the comfort zone when it comes to take leadership roles. Mm-hmm. And you, I say you have to fake it until you make it, because they give you a rank. As you go through ranks, I mean, you have to step in front of people and direct them to do whatever it is that needs to be done. And sometimes, even though you're scared, you're second guessing yourself inside. It's like, okay, do I have what it takes to do what needs to be done with all these people, you know, to take charge of all these people? It's like, well, I wear the rank. I cannot show that fear. You know what I'm saying? But I can see it. I can see it with the difference that it is to interact with people through a computer than it is in person. You know, there's a lot of stuff that, I mean, you only see the face, but you don't see the rest. I mean, I could be shaking right now with my hands and you don't see that. So it's different, and you can put a different persona as well online, which helps a lot, because whenever you do it live, I mean, you already know these people, you know, from the get-go, from being online. So that's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. And I think if you could change the perspective, before I never thought about, you know, making friends this way, other than just casual friends, but I'm talking about more different level, like partners, just like I have partners. If you think about it, I never met Joe in person. I never met Handra in person, and this is still possible. Yeah, I think it's amazing, right? So I think it's because the group full of great, like-minded, highly motivated people who are go-getters. They are willing to help out each other. This is just great community.
Definitely, bro. I understand. So what happened through? So I know for a fact that you haven't been able to be in the events, in the live events, right? Mm-hmm. But how? I have been, right, in you know, the markets. And it's not my show, so we're not going to talk about, you know, what I'm looking at. But how did you fast forward into, okay, you went through the classes, right? You were on the Monday classes. Right. You went on the underwriting pod, and I know this because you threw me under the bus on the first pod. right. So that was good, man. That's when we started, you know, becoming friends, and we make it fun for the audience out there. Right. It's like, yeah, we have these people, and we make it fun. We joke with each other. We throw each other under the bus for different classes and different things that we do for the community. But so you started attending all this stuff. How do you get that team together to close on the deal? And we'll bring up the deal later, and you tell us more about the deal.
Okay. So I think I emphasize to others too, but I think partnership is very important, right? Since I was coming from out of state and not investing in my backyard, which is New York City, and not even close states like New Jersey or Connecticut, my main weakness will be I need to rely on someone, right? I have to find someone who can be a point person or boots on the ground to have a deal with me together. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it happen. So that was the first goal when I was joining the Jake and Gino community, to find a partner that I could trust. So I started talking to people and asking their opinions on partners and different markets. And I soon realized, oh, I can't just approach and ask them to become my partner without being able to tell them what kind of value I can bring.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I stopped looking for partners, and then instead I started looking into myself, like what kind of value I can add. So I wrote down what I can do as a lawyer. And I started putting myself out there like that. So I said my biggest value will be my legal training, even though I'm not a real estate attorney. All the legal things I can help to review before bringing it to our attorney and spot issues, if any, which in turn will save some money for us, right? And I can even draft some general, simple legal documents if needed. I can review third-party vendor contract together. We can negotiate terms. That's all I do, with negotiating with insurance companies all day. And based on my experience, having an attorney and the team gives instant credibility to potential sellers and other lenders. So all these things I was able to put out there, and I said, look, this is the value I can produce and provide to you. I'm looking for someone who could be my boots on the ground.
Nice.
That was how I started talking to people and network during the network.
Yeah, I remember you and I had that conversation, and you told me all this stuff, and that's pretty cool. That instead of you looking to see what people can do for you, you start looking, inward and be like, okay, what is it that I can do for people, so people can choose me.
Right.
That's pretty cool. So what happened next?
So yeah, and one day I was doing so we had like a pod calls, like in Jake and Gino, a couple of people are grouped together for accountability purposes. We talk, and one day my partner, Joe Sullivan, sent me a message. I don't know if it was a text message or call. He wanted to talk, so we got to talk on the Zoom, and he told me, look, I'm looking for a partner. I think I could be a boots on the ground, and I'm looking for a partner, but based on the value that you could provide, I think you could be the type of partner that I want to partner with together in the future. Mm-hmm. So that's how it clicked. So we started talking together for the potential deals, and we started to underwriting deals together. That's how it started.
Nice. Yeah, I know Joe personally as well. We met on one of the events, and he's a great guy, man.
Great guy, man. Such a great guy.
How many? So okay, so you guys found the deal through Joe, right?
This deal was actually the first deal we closed was from Joe's friend who knew the owner directly.
Okay, so let's talk about the deal. Let's fast forward. We know you attended all the education. You started networking like crazy because, I mean, we all do it in this community, right? We talk to each other. We talk to a lot of the same people. We both talk to similar people and a lot of people in common, and we always talk about deals and we help each other all the time. And for our audience, I mean, it's a community that we're never looking at each other as a competition or hiding anything from each other. We're always trying to help each other. Joseph has connected me to other people. I've connected people to Joseph and to other people in the community. So it's very helpful. I don't know. I feel like we're in a family, even though we don't know each other personally. We haven't ever shake hands. We talk several times. We joke to each other. We text each other all the time. So how did you guys build a team? So how many, let's say, for example, the deal that you guys structure, right? You found the deal. How did you guys come up with the team? Are they all from the Jake and Gino community? Do you bring people from the outside? How did that work?
Okay, so the partnership for this deal. So first of all, this is JV. It was not a syndication. It was joint venture. Um, so after I met Joe, after we started underwriting deals together, we felt a need of having another person who has more experience than us to be a part of the team. So we were thinking, and I thought about another amazing guy from JKG, the community. It's Handra Tembunen.
We had him on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I remember.
Yeah.
So I spoke to him and conveyed the idea of, I know you don't invest in Kansas City market, but me and Joe were, sort of underwriting together. We think if someone who has more experience than us can join the team, will be very nice. And I thought about you, and Joe thinks highly of you. So if you could join together, that'd be nice. And Handra said, let me think about it. I'll speak to my wife, Mercy. And then I think maybe a couple of days later, if not a week, he said, you know what? We decided to do it together with you. So since then, we started looking all of this together. I think throughout 2020, we looked a lot of deals together. And finally, this 44 unit deal, we got that on the contract back in October of 2020.
Nice. So how did that feel?
Man, it was great. I was like flying, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about the first deal, man. Because that's a deal that it kind of changes your life. It makes it tangible. It's like, oh my God, I actually have something. It takes one deal,
Right.
To explode. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. It gives you a sense of confidence. That it's like, hey, this can happen to me too, And after that, you can scale, or you can stay the same, or hey, that might be it for you. It's like you probably don't need more. But let's talk about finding the deal. For the audience that are listening to us, and they're probably saying, well, how do you structure this type of stuff? You talk about JV. We usually talk about syndication. We talk about bigger deals. Mm-hmm. But this is a JV, joint venture, where the three of you come out together, and it's like, well, it's three, I want to say three equal parts, not to make it so difficult, but everybody has different skills, different things that they bring to the table, and to be able to close this deal and manage it. Mm-hmm. So how did that work, man? How did you guys find the deal, first of all?
So finding deal, like I said, was from Joe's friend. I believe it was Steve, knew this owner. So it was just a direct seller, direct off market, because he knew the owner. So we didn't really have to compete with anyone, right? So it was just us. So in that sense, it was easy for us to deal with the seller. And the seller was true mom and pop owner, and very motivated seller. He made it upfront clear that he wanted to close this in 2020. Okay. So we were like, okay, as long as the deal is good, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Right. And how much mom and pop? It's when we requested lease documents after putting on the contract. We asked Joe to get some lease documents or financials, and Joe went there. We expected a PDF and Excel sheets, but Joe ended up getting a box of documents. He had to personally sort out and scan manually, I think, a couple hundred pages.
Wow.
That mom and pop.
Yeah, no, we're familiar with that, man. Again, this is not my story, but just because you probably never heard it. Ours were like written notes in a piece of paper, and the owner would send us pictures of it. And we didn't know anything about mom and pop before. Like, what the hell is mom and pop? In bigger pockets, they don't mention that much, and because a residential property is not mom and pop. It's just one person that owns it. It's not a corporation. It's not huge, and doesn't need that much management. So when we're getting all this, and I used to ask the same questions, like, can you send me a spread, like an Excel sheet, because we're buying a portfolio, it's multiple units. How do we do this? And she's like, no, this is all I have. This is the rent, and this is what I spent, and this is the unit. And I was like, oh my God, man, it was a pain in the
But
butt.
thank God it was not a back of the napkin, right?
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so go ahead, man. So it was a true mom and pop. They sent you a bunch of
Right,
deals.
right.
You all had to scan it.
The deal wise, the property wise was 44 unit apartment, 1963 vintage in Lawrence, Kansas. It's all comprised of 2 bedroom and 1 bath, which is nice. I mean, we like the fact that it was all 2 bedroom and 1 bath, right? And average rent was approximately, compared to other apartments surrounding areas, $150 to $200 lower in average, which it tells us there's a huge upside if we could manage that well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's been over 90% economically occupied, and we did 80% of loan to cost, so that we could have 80% of the rehab cost as well from the lender.
Nice.
So I think lender did a great job with us, and we were able to get a good rate and 18 months IO and rehab cost of about $250,000.
18 months IO. Can you explain what IO is for the people that are probably not familiar with the
Oh, sure,
acronym?
sure. So when you say IO, it means interest only. So when we get the loan will be typically, let's say, 7 year or 10 year or some years balloon. So, but first certain amount of months they will allow us to only pay interest only, not the principal amount. So we could have more cash flow upfront.
Nice. That's what I wanted to get. Yeah, it helps. It helps with the financing and for the owner to kind of stabilize because they're not paying as much. They're not paying principal. For those people that cannot picture it, when you're paying principal and interest, the payments are higher. But when they take that principal out, you're only paying interest. It's only a small amount for a couple of months or maybe a year, and it helps the owners to play with more cash and be able to stabilize um, those assets. So that's pretty important when people are dealing with multifamily.
Right, right. And you asked me about the structure. So
Yeah.
um, as opposed to syndication, JV, everyone is active. So everyone has to have some kind of role and be general partners. And they're gonna sign the loan because JV. We did it through a community bank. We didn't do an agency, so this is this is a recourse loan, which means if we default and they could come after us personal level. So
Yeah. Okay. And okay, so for the team, right? Everybody is similar parts, when it comes to the pie. What do each person on the team is bringing to the partnership?
Okay, so well, I mean, as opposed to syndication, again, when it comes to JV, the equity will be split pretty much based on how much money each person brings in.
Okay.
Right? So everyone has to bring in the equity first, like they have to bring in the investment money.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, obviously our role gets divided up between Joe, who's being boots on the ground and talking to the property managers there. And I decided to do more of collecting the monthly information from the property managers, sort out, try to do some sort of like a bookkeepings and make sure things are aligned. And
So you're basically the asset manager.
Right. Yeah. I see everyone as an asset manager.
Yeah.
But I try to take that kind of role so that I could be a more help. And Handra is more of because he's more experienced. He oversees things, and Mercy is helping out. And also in the team, we have Marco and 2 other partners, Jared and Jason. It's their first time being in a deal, but so we are giving them some roles. I'm talking about Jared and Jason. So Jason is following up with the insurance company. Jared will be following up with, I believe, on getting the capex reimbursed from the lender. Right. Marco is obviously experienced,
An advisor.
right, an advisor, and he's like a counsel. He's overseeing everything and making sure things are moving well.
Nice. Yeah. And the fact that we're students of them, and Marco is a great guy. like you say, he's very experienced, right along Jake and Gino. He's Gino's brother. Um, and he's taking care of you guys as well. That the
Marco,
deal doesn't. Yeah,
he's like Godfather.
exactly. Yeah.
He's Italian, right?
Oh yeah, we've had him before on. We had a deal where he was trying to help us out too. It didn't work out. But yeah, I know Marco.
Yeah, he's a nickname of Crazy Balls, and he calls me Yoseff. And we all have like nicknames. Joe is Joe Seller Direct, and
yeah.
I know Hendra should have one too. I'm gonna ask later. But
nice. No, Marco's a great guy, and the fact that he's with you guys on this deal as a godfather, like you say, he's the mentor. He advises. He can see things way clearer than most of us because he's gone through so much that he can tell. It's good to have a person like that in the team. That can tell you, hey, no, this is not how you do it. This is how you do it, because you are 100% sure that deal is gonna be effective. That's pretty awesome, man. So you guys went through the deal, you guys closed, you guys structured, you guys financed it. What's the plan? So you said it's mom and pop. That means that it wasn't well managed, right? Or maybe it was managed to a point that, like you say, it has a lot of upside because you can make it more professional, and then raise the rent or maybe lower the cost. What was the structure? What's the business plan for this deal?
So before, the owner was not really paying attention to this property, so there was a deferred maintenance, definitely, and we're keeping the original seller's property management company. In the beginning, we were thinking about changing it, but Joe met with them. I had a call with them together. I think they're nice guys, so we decided to give it a try. And even the property manager said previous owner didn't really give them a go ahead to when they were trying to fix something, right? I think the previous owner to him, I believe he refied twice already from this property. So he actually just having cash flow, right? So he didn't really have to fix anything. So I said, okay, let's do it with them. And now our goal is, we're trying
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro. My phone ring. I'll edit it.
We had about 3 vacant units when it just closed, which we're trying to turn and testing markets. We had a lease that was up, and the tenant renewed it without doing anything. We didn't even clean or anything. She just renewed it with the $60 bump. So we tested that. Okay, so no work whatsoever. We were able to raise $60. So let's try with a turn the units, right? So I think last week we heard the turned unit was leased out with $200 bump.
Nice.
$200. So our plan is just keep doing it, turn the units, making sure we're able to bump the rent at least $150 to $200. And if that plan goes well, I think within like year and a half, we could probably do a cash out refi.
Nice.
Our walk-in cash and cash return is above 13%. So if we could do cash out refi in a year and a half or 2 years, we could probably push the cash and cash return above 60%.
Whoa, man. That's awesome.
This is an awesome deal.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, dude, I'm very excited for you guys. Last thing, bro. Because I mean, people listen to these things and they think that it's so easy. You just summarize everything in 30, 40 minutes. Without details, it's either yes or no, or maybe laugh at it, conflicts, things that piss you off during the way, things that got you frustrated. Were there a lot of those, or was everything like a smooth ride because you have talented people like Hendra and Marco on your team?
Well, I mean, I guess the deal itself was not that difficult for me because I don't know, I was just having fun. I learned all the stuff, although I'm not perfect. And I'm witnessing that the education is being applied to the real stuff. So I don't think I was having any hard time. Some hiccups here and there.
Yeah.
It's just for example, right before closing, we were waiting to hear from our attorney that it was closed. But then one of the partner said, "Hey guys, I just realized my money was not wired."
So it happens. I just want people to realize that this is a small hiccup, but if things don't, it gets stressful. Am I right? I mean, for a little second, and it might be maybe a day or two where it's like, oh my god, bro, we're gonna lose this.
It was just, I was like, what the?
Yeah, exactly. No, so yeah.
But this is where the lender relationship comes into play. The lender was kind enough to still continue to close.
Nice.
And told us, make sure that guys money gets wired tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's good. And the fact that you had a good relationship with the seller.
Joe actually had a good relationship with the lender.
Yeah, exactly. So that helps a lot, because if things happen like that and you have a seller that needs to sell right now, they won't play that game, you know? So that's pretty good, man.
And let me tell you a little bit about, because you said somebody might think that, oh, Yoseff, it sounds like very easy. You just found a deal through someone he knows, seller direct, no competition. Lendo was helping. Okay, this sounds very easy. But let me tell you what I did until I found a deal.
Go ahead, bro.
When I joined Jake and Gino March, because of pandemic, everything was shutting down, right? I started consuming the education stuff in March and May. Because I couldn't go to any meetups, right? I couldn't go to any meetups. I couldn't go to any of the boot camps and money mixers. What I did was I actually created a meetup myself with my co-host, Nico Sagato, a virtual meetup in New York, and started meeting and people and doing massive networking virtually. It's like literally like a lot of people I met throughout this pandemic. A lot more than before pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And we were submitting LOIs here and there, rejected. One of the seller took our contract and chose. I think we were used to be bid for others buyer, and we were just thrown away. And we submitted another LOIs constantly. Maybe we vetted about 30, 40 deals. Hours and hours of work every day.
Yep.
So if I sounded like it's very easy to do multifamily, it's not.
It's not, but because I want to let people know that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours on in front of a computer. For the people boots on the ground, it's a lot of hours touring the properties, talking to the broker. There's a lot of networking, a huge amount of time in networking. You and I do that immensely, where we're talking to I would say hundreds of people on the weekly basis, and you guys have your own meetup. I don't know how you deal with that. I don't know how to manage a meetup yet. Eventually we're gonna start doing that. But you guys do so much. It takes a ton of work, and obviously we have to kind of like compress, almost a whole year of work into 30 minutes and kind of bring up the highlights of what happened. But obviously, I mean, in between that, there's a ton of work. Underwriting deals is not easy, especially when you're going into a new market and you're trying to research that market. There's a lot of analytics, and there's a lot of nuances that you have to take into accountability. Otherwise, you're gonna get into a bad deal. Right. And it also takes a lot of education, a lot of talking to the coaches, a lot of, like you said, building that team and get to a point that you trust the people that you're going to work with, because you don't want to let them down and they don't want to let you down. You know what I'm saying? So it takes commitment to do what we do. It takes a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding because, I mean, dude, tell us, I mean, how do you see your dream coming up now that you close on the first deal to be able to have that financial freedom and be able to do whatever the hell you want whenever you want with your family, spend more time with your family, not be at work, 9 to like, what is it, 9 to 5, that's what it's called, yeah.
Well, 9 to 6 is the regular, and you get to work more.
Yeah, exactly. But how do you see that dream coming up where it's like, hey, finally I'm tasting it?
Okay, so again, as you know, this one deal wouldn't get me a reach or anything, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But this opened the door to a lot more opportunities. Now people see I close a deal and they take me more seriously. Well, the meetups and educations, all this was part of my plan to build up the credibility. And based on that, I was able to close and use this on a social media to boost my, I guess, my brand, building up the brand and building up the momentum. And all this will, I know, help me to get to the second deal and third deal and so on and forth.
Nice.
So doing the first deal means a lot, not only because it's your first deal, but because people say first deal the hardest. I think it's true because now I just get message here and there from brokers. And a couple of weeks ago, I got a message from a seller asking me if our team will be interested in purchasing his property that he wants to sell. It was close to our property that we closed first deal, and that's why the seller looked my post and he read it and he thought we will be able to close it. That's why he directed, right?
Yeah.
So it opens up the door of so many opportunities, credibility, and building the momentum. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Great, man. Hey, congratulations, bro. I know it's late over there in New York. It's almost 11. I don't want to take much of your time. I had a blast with you, bro. I wanted to have you in this podcast, and I was cheering for you guys to close on that deal because I want to have you, Joe. I already had Hendra, but I want to have you, Joe. Eventually, I know Nico close on his own deal with another group, but I want to have Nico too. I already extended the invitation. So, dude, I'm so excited for you guys, man. I love you guys. We're a family. Please, man, tell us where people can find more about you. You talk about your meetup. Let us know about your meetup. How can they meet with you in New York? And Nico also, you guys have your meetup. Social media. How can people contact you?
Okay, so I have a website called syndicro.com, syndicro.com. And I have a brand called Million Door Club. It's not $1 million, Million Door Club. Instagram, Facebook page, you can easily find it. Or you could Facebook me. My name is there as a Yoseff, your Broseph. That's a nickname that Chris Jackson and Marco got me. A lot of people started calling me. So I like
Broseph. Okay, I like that too.
Yes. And so that's where you can find me. And my meetup with Nico, we do bi-weekly meetup every other Wednesday, 7:00 Eastern. We bring industrial guests, well-known guests, and for free education contents and network. It's been great meeting a lot of people, well-known people like Gino was a guest, Rod Cleef was there, Yona, Triple Adams, and many others.
Nice.
And we're going to have another great guest along in the future, including Bill Hams. And so I'm very excited about all this journey with everyone that's a part of it. Edmund, you are the part of it too. Nico, my partners, Joe and Handra, Marco. I owe a lot to this group of people, amazing people, Jake and Gino and MIH Mastermind, Hadar too. I think eventually my goal is to give back all this great support I received so that I could help out others to achieve the same.
Nice. Awesome, brother. Hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll have you again, when you close more deals, and hopefully one day we get to do some business together. That was one of my hopes for
Absolutely.
2020. But yeah, bro. So thank you so much for the people out there. Please don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Watch us on YouTube. This is a great episode. If you notice, and I'm not trying to make fun of Joseph, but he's on his basement right now. That's his temporary office for tonight. So that was pretty cool, man. I told him, hey, don't worry about it because it's raw material. I love it.
Hold on. I thought that this was just podcast. Is it gonna
No,
be?
this is YouTube, man. This is for everybody, bro.
Oh, I didn't know. You could have told me. I thought it was a
Hey,
podcast.
man. Hey, dude. You know what I like, and this is for the audience. The fact that, and I told you from the beginning, right before we started recording, um, is the fact that we're immigrants. A lot of the people in the group are immigrants, are people from that come to this country without anything, right? And we have this notion that only wealthy and affluent people can get into these investments. We come from nothing and we're growing just like everybody else. We're not wealthy. We're just everything that we save, everything that we make, we try to put into these investments to grow more. You know what I'm saying? So don't be ashamed, bro. Don't. Hey, you look great, bro. And the fact that we're showing this, and we're genuine people, people that can relate to us and be like, yeah, he's a lawyer, but look at him. He's not the stuck up lawyer in a tie. You look pretty cool in your pictures on social media, though. If people start following you, man.
Oh, God.
Hey, bro.
You could have told me, man.
No, dude, it's so good, man. It's awesome. Don't be ashamed, bro. You're doing a lot of stuff that other people are not doing. Um, and 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 yeah, bro. I mean, you're giving a lot to the community. Just the meetups. Follow Joseph. His meetups, the stuff that he does with Nico Salgado is great. Great content, great guests all the time. There's a ton to learn from these guys. And brother, I follow you. You know it. I appreciate all your content all the time, and I wish you the best, bro.
Thank you very, very much, Airman, to have me on the show. It was great, and I was honored to, have fun with you. Okay.
Awesome, bro. All right, peace out.
I thought this was a podcast.
It is, bro, but we got a video channel. So, hey, for the audience out there, for the viewers out there, thank you. Give us a 5-star review. Follow Joseph in his team and what he's doing, all his success. He has a lot to offer. So, until next time, guys, peace out.
All right, Airman. Thank you. Have a good night.